the ropes. Another left hand from Prates. First man to knock out the leech, leeching Leo.
Man, we fucking, I just can't get enough. But put it on me, that's the best part, baby. The trust me, I got nothing for you other than love. I remember being pushy on the back of the bus. I remember getting nookie till the sun came up. All the places that you took me, no one came with us. Same hoes,
Oh my God! Oh my God!
UFC Fight Night, Carlos Prates versus Neil Magny. Who am I picking? Let's get into it, okay? We got Carlos Prates fighting. We got a decent little fight night. It's not the best. It's still slop in comparison to what we should be getting. But listen, at least Carlos Prates is fighting. At least we got some names on here. But the thing is, we're not as hyped because Ilia Topuria, when Ilia Topuria fights, I hate to bring him up because I'm always bringing him up nowadays, but when he fights, man, it's like the fucking best experience in the world. You're hyped as fuck. It's a great card, great atmosphere. And then, after that, it's just, what are we looking forward to? John Jones? We're looking forward to a fucking John Jones fight with Stipe Miocic. No, we're not looking forward to that. So, we got to settle for some stuff, and we got Carlos Prates here. Is it the most exciting matchup? Am I really excited for Carlos Prates to fight Neil Magny? No, not necessarily, because, Neil Magny, he's one of those clinch guys, bro. This guy loves to fucking clinch. He loves to fucking, hug his way to a decision and, save his ranking spot every once in a while. He's Mr. Gatekeeper. He is the welterweight GOAT, objectively, but, regardless, I'm not too hyped for this fight. I'm hyped because it's Carlos Prates, though, okay? With that being said, though, I'm gonna pick Neil Magny to win by submission. I just think he's a beast. Let's move on, though. Just kidding. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just playing with you. But, listen, I am picking Carlos Prates. I'm gonna pick him just KO. I'm gonna pick him by fucking KO. I know Neil Magny isn't the easiest guy to KO in the UFC, but I think Carlos Prates can get it done, okay? Carlos Prates, he's just, he's knocking out Li Jingliang. You don't knock out the Leech and then, not knock out Neil Magny, right? That's like, you don't knock out Max Holloway and then not knock out Islam Makhachev, okay? That's how it works. If you're knocking out the Leech, you're gonna go in there in your next fight and knock out Magny, okay? So, I'll pick Prates. I'll pick him by his, that big knee, the signature knee. Round 2, around the, the 4-minute, 30-second mark, I'll pick him there. And, that's it. That's it for the fight. It's not going to be that entertaining, let's be honest. Maybe. If it's an entertaining KO, it'll be entertaining. But, it's an Apex fight night as well. I don't know why we're putting this on Apex fights, but, yeah, let's move on, man. I mean, very exciting card here. Cody Gardbrant. This guy's the champ, I believe, versus Miles Johns, Eggman himself. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Cody Garbrandt because, he's such a beast. Ilia Topuria was getting a lot of comparisons to Cody Garbrandt. Dude, I'm bringing up Ilia, like, every second. But, people were saying, Ilia's the next Cody Garbrandt, bro. So that must be a good thing. So I'm picking Cody to get knocked out by Miles Johns because Cody Garbrandt has no fucking chin, okay? And I know he was actually looking good against, Figgy. He was out striking him. He was looking very good in the striking, and, survived that late submission. And I think that's the last time he fought, right? And then he got subbed after. At UFC 300, he got subbed. Well, whatever. I'm not picking him, though, because I'm picking Miles Johns. Miles Johns has that KO power. I don't remember who he KO'd last. Probably one of these fucking pipsqueaks. But the only reason I'm picking him is because I don't trust Cody Garbrandt's chin. That's literally the only reason. I guess... What the fuck? Alright, this is what I mean, bro. Whenever I check these stats, they actually piss me off because why did they have Cody Garbrandt? I'm still picking Miles Johns by KO. I don't care. Maybe he hasn't KO'd anybody because I didn't check Topology, but I'm pretty sure his last fight he KO'd somebody, did he not? Or like 2 before that. I don't even remember who he fought, but who the fuck cares? Carolina Kowalski versus Denise Gomes. I'm picking Denise Gomes. You already know the reason. I mean, she just looks like a killer. This is like Charles Oliveira. I think I've picked her before. We got Charles Oliveira reborn. So, Carolina looks like a fucking 50-year-old mother who's going to pick up her kids from soccer practice. But, Denise Gomes, on the other hand, she looks like she's got herself a little girlfriend and, maybe smacks her on the ass and then gets her a beer and then, watches some fights on the side. And it goes to, I'm sure she goes to kickboxing training and decided, I'll hop in the UFC. And she's probably a killer in the UFC. This is my most anticipated fight. I am going to do a 3.5 hour dissection on this on my Patreon. So make sure to subscribe to the Patreon. Sopaj versus Ricky Trucios. You know, me being the hardcore I am, obviously, you know, I know Sopaj, he fought Vinicius Oliveira, and he actually looked good in that fight. And that's why I picked against Oliveira in his next fight against Ricky Simone. You know, look at this knowledge on me. But I did pick against Vinicius Oliveira in his next fight, but Vinicius Oliveira looked good. And if Sopaj was looking good on short notice against Vinicius Oliveira, and the only reason he lost was because he gassed out in the 3rd round, and then he got fucking KO'd, you know, by that knee, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to pick Sopaj, okay? Because Ricky Trucios, you know, he is a beast. He's the tough winner, big tough guy. And, you know, he does look like he's out there. You know, he could be a champ. I'm not going to hate on Ricky Trucios. He could be a champ any given Saturday. You know, he goes in there. He could just land that fucking, you know, knockout. Or that submission on a guy like Raul Rosas. And, you know, he'll be next in line for the championship bout. But Bernardo Sopaj, this guy's a different beast. Croatian, I think. Is he not? Albanian. My bad, guys. Albanian. We call him the Albanian beast where I'm from. But, you know, 5'6". Yeah, I'm just picking him. I'll pick him by fucking decision. You know, a 2-1 decision. We'll get 2 rounds. The other judges will give the other guy a round, you know. GM3 versus Reindeer. Listen, Reindeer, I've heard a lot of good stuff about him. He's coming from another promotion. I think 1, probably. I think he's coming from 1, most likely. But listen, I'm a UFC guy, okay? I focus on the UFC. If you ask me anything about 1, I'll say, you know, Demetrius Johnson used to fight there. You got Rod Tang and, you know, some other guys in there. You got the little freaky Mikey Musumeci. Other than that, I don't know much. So, you know, Reindeer, he could be a good guy. He could be, you know, one of the best ever to do it. Could be, you know, a future GOAT. I'm just, you know, I don't really know him. I'm not going to pick him. I'm actually going to pick GM3 by a crafty little fraud checking here. You know, I think he's going to get a ground and pound KO like in his last fight. You know, he'll survive an early onslaught and then he'll fucking KO Reindeer. And it'll be over in 2.5 rounds. And, yep, Jillian Robertson, Luana Pinheiro. I'm picking Jillian Robertson because, you know, I did listen to her Joe Rogan episode about 1.5 years ago. And, you know, ever since then, I've realized she's a real human. And, you know, I'll just pick Jillian Robertson. She's like a Charles Oliveira. I think she has, like, the most submissions in WMMA history. So, you know, obviously she's a fucking killer. She'll probably beat Luana Pinheiro by sub. And, yeah, that's all she wrote. And she's Canadian. I'm still picking her because, you know, Canadian women, they pass the check. All right, now we're going to skim through the prelims. If anyone's still watching, you know, I do have, dude, Loki, this card is making me feel like I have extreme ball knowledge. Like, all of these guys, man, I've seen their fights recently. I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm like a hardcore right now. I am the hardcore of the hardcores. Because, you know, Nicholas Dalby, this guy fought Renat Fakhretdinov. And, you know, Renat didn't look the best in his last fight. And he lost that fight against the dude who was on fucking, like, 1,000 steroids, obviously. But, listen, Zaleski dos Santos, this guy's a beast, too. He is the ultimate test that you have to pass in order to become a ranked opponent, officially. But, you know, Nicholas Dalby, I think he was looking good. He's probably like 37, 36 by now. So, you know, it's always hard. But these guys are both vets. These guys are both crafty vets. Is the age here? So we didn't put the age here for some reason. But listen, Nicholas Dalby, he was looking good against Renat. And, you know, he looked like a newborn guy. You know, he was freshly born and fucking, you know, ready to kill in there. So I'll pick Nicholas Dalby by 2-1 decision. A 2-1 decision, split decision. And that's all she wrote. Okay? Mansour Abdul Malik versus Dusko Todorovic. Listen, Todorovic looks like a fucking beast. This guy looks like he could be a future killer in the middleweight division. But, you know, Mansour, this guy's got the fucking basketball pants. He's got the blue gloves, the Dana White's Contender Series gloves. And, you know, Dana White's Contender Series, when you go on there, you get some sort of special superpowers where you just guaranteed win your next fight. And, you know, Mansour might not look like he's the most in shape for middleweight. You know, this guy could have been one of those cans that they just tossed in there to, you know, feed to somebody on Dana White's Contender Series. And then the guy ended up losing to the can. And, you know, Dana was like, how could you not give this guy a contract? So, you know, Mansour Abdul fucking Rababovic ends up getting in here. And he's fighting Dusko. But listen, Dusko, he's going to get KO'd. What are the win by odds? 0. Okay, so 0% chance for Mansoor to win, but, I like that chance. I always think, 0%, you can't count the guy out. Matthew Semmelsberger versus Charles Radke. These are the type of guys where you recognize their faces and you recognize the names. You just don't know who they fought last. And you don't want to check Tapology because, that's when you make your picks wrong. You get the wrong picks if you go to Tapology and you go if you're looking into the X's and O's, that's when you get your picks wrong. This is the ultimate hardcore test, right? This is the fight you need to get right in order to determine if you're a hardcore. And, a lot of people would say, Charles Radke's got too much experience. He's going to, be able to outpressure Matthew Semmelsberger. But then you got to remember, Matthew Semmelsberger does have a mullet. And when you have a mullet, it's really hard to pick against you. So, with that being said, Matthew Semmelsberger by KO. Vicious KO in the first round. Vicious KO, Charles Radke, rest in peace, man. You had a good run. And that's all she wrote. Cody Steinman versus fucking Damon Blackshear. Damon Blackshear, this is going to sound racist if it's wrong, but he did get KO'd in like 18 seconds, right? That was him. Am I being correct? Because I did not check typology. He did get knocked out in like 18 seconds in his last fight, right? By, what's his face? I can't remember right now. But, Cody Steinman, another one of these guys where, you recognize the name, you hear the name, you just don't know their game. I just don't know their game. I'm not a big Cody Steinman fan. I'm sure he's a killer, like most of these guys in the UFC. Obviously, if you're in the UFC, you're a fucking beast. But if I'm gonna really have to pick this fight, I'm gonna lean Damon Blackshear by outclassing. Cody looks like a beast. He probably used to be in a frat or something. That looks like some frat text there, something Greek text. But Damon Blackshear on the other hand, this guy's coming back with vengeance. He just got knocked out in 18 seconds, assuming that is him. And he's coming back to prove that he is the real beast. He is UFC material. He's coming here to prove that. And Cody Steinman, this guy, he's living comfortable. You don't have anything to grind for, unlike Damon Blackshear. So, Damon Blackshear, and that's all she wrote. Melissa Mullins versus Claudius Segula. Man, I want to flip a coin, but I'm too lazy. So let's just fucking eeny, meeny, miny, mo this shit. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by its toe. If it hollers, let it go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Melissa Mullins is getting picked. I was actually going to pick Claudia with my brain. Just my brain thinking. But, because she's hasn't revealed herself. We don't know what she looks like necessarily. But I'm picking Melissa Mullins, I guess, because, she's from England as well. Yeah. So I'm actually going to pick Melissa Mullins. She's just too good. She's a great fighter. She's got one of the best submission games I've ever seen. I'm sure she'll be able to win this by submission or decision. Or never mind, she has a 0% submission chance. But this is going to be our first sub in history right here. We're going to see it. Dude, this is the longest card in history, man. Why is this card so fucking long, man? Gaston Bowlands, Cortavius Romeus. I'm picking... Dude, what the fuck? These guys both look super cool. Listen, I'm going to pick Cortavius. Because Cortavius, this guy looks like a fucking beast. Cortavius looks like a killer. Gaston looks like a Chad, okay? So it's hard. It's, you're picking the killer or the Chad. And this is one of those fights where you really don't want to see it. Because, it's... I love both of these guys. This is like, when people saw Gaethje versus Holloway, they were like, I just don't know. I don't, please, can both of them just win? When in reality, you definitely wanted Gaethje to fucking lose because, Gaethje's a bit of a bitch and a soy boy. But, this is similar to that situation where, I really like both of these guys. I really like Gaston Bolanos, and I really like Cortavius Romeus, but I'm going to lean towards Cortavius just because Cortavius is a beast. And, he looks like a beast, and, you always got to pick the beast over the Peruvian, right? We got a Peruvian here, yeah, I'm sure he's a fine fighter, but I'm sorry, Cortavius is on a different level. He's 1-1 in the UFC. Okay, I don't even know this guy's story, if I'm being honest, but, Cortavius, I feel like he can get it done. He's probably like a massive underdog as well, but, Tresean Gore versus Antonio Torcoli. This is the battle of the rejects right here. We got Antonio Torcoli, Mackenzie Dern's boyfriend, and we got Tresean Gore, this guy looks a bit like, trying to think of a name for him. Maybe a gopher. We can call him a gopher. Tresean Gopher Gore. Okay? I'm going to be picking Tresean Gore. I'm not going to pick Antonio Tricoli, despite the fact that he did survive 2 rounds, 2.5 rounds, I think, with, Shara Bullet, who's, the baddest guy in the fucking entire UFC. But, Antonio Tricoli, he don't have much to fight for, okay? You don't have much to fight for. He'll get taken down and smudged to a decision, and then, that's all she wrote. And, Mackenzie Dern, she gonna break up with him. And that's it for the video, guys. Listen, I hope you guys enjoyed this detailed analysis. If you watched till the end, let me know what your favorite part of the analysis is, and let me know if you, if you disagree with any one of my picks here, which you shouldn't, because I usually tend to get, 100% rate. That's just facts. If you look at my past picks, I'm 100% on everything. So, yeah, Carlos Prates by second round KO, did I say? And, yep. And Cody Garbrandt's going to lose his chin this fight. And, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Leave a like on the video and subscribe and, share with your friends. And see you guys in the next one. Peace.